Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Here we are again for a new video on all of the books, online events that might be of interest to you in regards to astrology and Jungian psychology and post-Jungian psychology. So today we're starting off with this book that I can only find in the American, well, the .com Amazon and the French Amazon. I can find it in the UK one. This is a book by Louisa Azencott. Louisa Azencott is a Portuguese astrologer. She lived for many years in the US. She has a very long background of as an astrologer. I have another one of her books that she only wrote in Portuguese, but this time this book is translated into English. What I do like about her is that she manages to put personal stories and astrology in a book. So this one is about that because, as you can see, the title is Memories of an Astrologer, a planetary journey of love, loss, grief, and fun. So this book says, Margaret Atwood once wrote, listening to the stories of others, we learn to tell our own. As an astrologer, I have spent much of my life listening to others' stories. The time has come to tell my own. So this is really what this book is about. She is connecting astrology to events that were going on in her life. Yeah, I feel like a book that puts you in the astrology field, but without the technicality of it. I think this might be a good book for you. And you also discover another astrologer, which is not an American one or an English one, and you will also have that vision of her. Then we go to Deborah Silverman. We all know her if we are in the field of astrology, I guess. She has been she has been an astrologer for many, many years. This is her last book, I Don't Believe in Astrology, A Guide to the Life-Changing Wisdom of the Stars. Discover the life-changing power of astrology with insights from Deborah Silverman, renowned astrologer, to Jennifer Aniston. Accessible and engaging, this guide unveils how astrology can positively impact your life and unlock your true potential. In a chaotic, confusing, and divisive world, it is easy to feel lost and hopeless. With every scroll, like, and tweet, we drift further from understanding who we really are. I Don't Believe in Astrology, celebrity astrologer Deborah Silverman confidently introduces astrology as the ultimate path to inner peace and to living your best life. Here you can see she shows you how to aim for the high road of your personality. Most of all, you will cultivate compassion for all the other signs of the zodiac and learn the meaning of the sun, moon, rising sign, Mercury, and Saturn. Using Deborah's method of combining the wisdom of astrology and psychology, you will remember the truth of your soul's expression as seen through the eyes of self-love. So I think this book might be for those of you who are just starting in astrology. Yeah, you might like the way she expresses it. Then we have Where is the Soul? Where is Soul? Psychology in Modernity by Greg Modgenson and Pamela Power, giving the lie to psychology's having long ago dropped the word soul from its vocabulary. The authors of these essays tenaciously explored the theme of psychology in modernity by asking, with respect to our times, where is soul? Having come together for a symposium in Berlin in the summer of 2024, Jungian analysts and scholars from Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, England, Spain, and the United States presented papers on such topics as interiority and accomplished modernity, Jung's thematization of the spiritual problem of modern man, technology as antichrist, the logic of love in relation to the Holocaust, human dignity, the psychology of simulation, the search for the arcane substance, reflectivity and the edge of the psychological, Mexican shamanic experience as the other of modernity's linguistic turn, and the soulful significance in modern Japan of love suicide, Minamata disease, and the creation of the outer space as this pertains to the birth of man. So you can see there are several subjects that all have one in common, which is soul. So you might like this book if you are interested in Jungian psychology. Then we have this one, which is called Sanctuary, the Inner Life of Home. The first thing that I saw was that they had put painting of my favorite painter of all times, the Danish painter Wilhelm Hammershøi, that I do love. And the subject here is home. This is a subject that I do love a lot because if you also have, just like me, a stellium and your sun in the 4th house of your birth chart, maybe home is something that speaks to you a lot. So yeah, I think this book might be really wonderful because there are amazing contributors: Jean Shinoda Bolen, James Hollis, of course, Thomas Singer. So featuring contributions from Jean Shinoda Bolen, James Hollis, Tom Singer, Helen Marlowe, Gilda Frantz, John Hill, and many more. If you want to get to know someone, listen to their story of home. Intimacy builds as we ask. Where do you come from? What did you leave behind? Where do you feel safe? In Sanctuary, these questions are explored by Jungian analysts, architects and historians, scientists and storytellers. Contributors also consider how climate change, Black Lives Matters, and unprecedented wave of global refugees are impacting our notions of home and hospitality. This one is on my list because this is really a subject that I'm very fond of, and I'm also writing about it and doing some research in regards to astrology, the 4th house, and home. Then we have the online events. Well, this one is a conference in person, but in person is sold out, as you can see here, but virtual conference registration is available. So Norwac is an amazing array of astrologers from around the world, new astrologers, those who are already in the field or have been for a very long time. So the speakers this year, as you can see, you have Cameron Ellen, Colin Bedell, Magna Bagat, Gemini Brett, Celeste Brooks, some of Wade Caves, Adam Allenbass, Dimitri George, of course, Stormy Grace, Jason Hawley, that I love. Yeah, you have from all backgrounds. Hallie Olomi, I really do love his astrology also. Anna Ortoli, Samuel Reynolds, Lisa Scheim, well, Richard Tarnas, of course, Catherine Herban. Well, as you can see, there are amazing gems art. Well, you have a wonderful array of astrologers who are going to give amazing talks. And yeah, so if you would like to watch all of those talks, you, of course, can register now. It will be on from May 22nd to May 26th. Then we have a talk that is called A Time to Die, Death Charts as Cosmic Obituaries. And I thought that this talk is something, well, the subject is about death, but we don't see a lot of talks on astrology on death. Sometimes it's a little bit taboo. So I really do like the description of this one. As astrologers, sorry, we agree that the moment of birth reveals the character and destiny of that which is born, be it a person, a nation, an organization, or even an idea. For the most part, we study the lives of people, and the moment of birth is the root from which all our investigations proceed. We may disagree on many things as astrologers, but the vital significance of the moment of birth is the one thing about which there is no dispute. But what of the moment of death? Could it be that this moment too is pregnant with meaning regarding that which has died and the life that has been lived? Could it be that we have neglected to study the important and inevitable end moment of every incarnation precisely because it is so shrouded in mystery? After all, we don't know with any certainty where or what exactly death leads us to. We fear death, prefer not to think about it, since it is the antithesis of our very existence as living beings. We are in perpetual denial of our mortality. Is it true that death has indeed been the subject of astrological scrutiny and speculation over the centuries, but this has almost invariably been limited to an attempt to gauge approximate longevity and somewhat controversially also to predict the precise date of demise? But what if the moment of death reveals what a life has actually achieved? Could it be that the death chart is indeed a kind of cosmic obituary? It's very interesting because it's not about trying to predict dates, moments, or even if someone is going to live long or not. It is about what the death chart says about the person and her life and what has been. So, yeah, you can register. The fee is £15. It will be by Zoom, and it is on May 11th, London time. It will be at 7 p.m. London time. The speaker is Richard Fiedler. Yeah. As always, I will put the links below. And of course, I didn't said, but all the books, there are links from Amazon, are associated links. And I also really recommend you to first buy the books from your local bookshop, only if you are somewhere where you can't buy those books in English. Use Amazon. That's what I do because I live in a country that where we can't find those books at all. So Amazon is the only way I can do so. Then we have, I also wanted to highlight this podcast that, of course, if you love analytical astrology, analytical psychology, if you are in the field of Jungian, post-jungian, you know this Jungian life. But what I do like here is that this precise episode, did Jung and Tolkien visit the same psychic realms? This talk is with Becca Tarnas, that you can see here. And she, I think it was the subject of her PhD. It was the Red Books of Jung and also the Red Book of Tolkien. I don't know if you know, but he also had one. So here in this episode, they are talking about that. And I find it very interesting and full of information that really puts into perspective those two books and those two men and their work. So I really liked it. Maybe if you haven't watched it yet, you might like it too. Then we have another event. This is another online event at the Minnesota Jung Association on May 10th at 10:30 a.m. This is a time for Minnesota. You'll have to check, but it might be good for us here in Europe, if you are in Europe, because this is a talk of Sharon Blackie. I told you about, I think it was in the last episode, about the book Hagitude, and she lives in Ireland, I guess, Ireland or England. I'm not sure. So the time, if you are in Europe, it's good. It's okay for us. So this is a talk about Hagitude, an archetypal analysis of older women in European myth and folklore. There is no clear image of inviolable female elderhood in the contemporary cultural mythology of the West. It seems not to be an archetype we recognize anymore. Older women are mostly ignored, encouraged to be inconspicuous, or held up as objects of derision and satire. But our myths and folklore contain a rich and diverse collection of women from midlife and beyond who offer insight into the ways that each of us could uniquely embody a bold and purposeful elderhood. They are the ones who tell the wisdom stories, who know where the medicine plants grow. They serve as guides for younger adults. They know when the community is going down the wrong path, and they're not afraid to speak out and say so. Their focus is on giving back, on bringing out for the sake of earth and community, the hard-earned wisdom which they've grown within themselves. From the trickster to the creatrix, the Medea woman to the mentor. I told you about the Medea woman on her when I talked about her book, the Hagitude one. The Medea woman to the mentor. These stories shed light on the rich and varied nature of older women's wisdom. And to buy the ticket, you go to the first, I will put the link. You go to Eventbrite, and here you have it. Let's see. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. And it's $30. So to finish this video, I would like to tell you that I made blog posts on my Substack about Hilma af Klint, only a little bit, of course, because there is so much to tell about her and her work. So I made a post on some of the things that I found in her chart that were interesting, and also very that goes with what we have, with what I have showed you today, especially the event, the talk about the death, because look here, what happens when a person passes away? Does their birth chart continue to be affected by transit, progressions, etc.? So this is a nice coincidence or synchronicity, if you prefer, because this I had already written this article some time ago, and what I watched and in our chart were the times when her work has come to public recognition. And of course, it was already, she had already passed away, because she didn't want her works to be shown, or at least after several exhibitions she had already done, she decided that she no longer wanted her works to be exhibited for at least 20 years after her death. So I wrote a little bit about those times. So thank you so much, and I hope this episode was of interest to you. You have found something that you would like to study further, an event that you would like to attend, or a book that you would like to read. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and give me a like if you like this video, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.